Good morning, all. Last class we have seen photo floater and the types of photo floater which are used. There is a vector photo floater and raster photo floater. Then we saw panning and zooming in PCB. This is used for placement and routing between components in PCB designing. Today we will see the design guidelines in PCB design. That is, while designing your PCB in real world, you have to consider the design parameters. That is, we have to mention what are the dimensions, that is, what are the parameters involved in the design before designing the PCB in real world. You can make your design by your own, or you can send the design to the PCB fabrication house and make them manufacture the PCB. For that, you need to know the design parameters. There are some guidelines for having these PCB board design parameters. We will see one by one. If you are going to send your PCB design to the PCB fabrication house for manufacturing the PCB as per your design, you need to send the design file for that PCB. The design file includes the parameters of the PCB design. The PCB fabrication house will extract those information, and they will also check whether there is any error or not. There is no error. They will proceed for the designing, and they will give you the final finished PCB. Okay. So today's class we will see what are the guidelines required for designing a PCB. Go to slide number 2. First, we will see how this trace width is considered. I hope you all remember what do you mean by trace. I'm repeating it. Trace means it is equivalent to the wire which is used for conducting signals in breadboard. So in PCB, each trace will consist of a flat narrow part of copper foil, and this copper foil will remain even after etching. We see the figure available in the left hand side, and those lines on the PCB board is known as trace. And this is nothing but a copper foil which remain even after etching process in PCB manufacturing. And we have to specify the design consideration in case of this trace width. That is, this trace is nothing but the line drawn on the PCB as shown in the figure provided in the slide number 2. The width of the trace can be 4 mils or less than that. If you have in many classes we have seen mil. Mil means is nothing but 1 by thousands of inch. That is in 1000 inch, the one part is your mil. Okay. If you are going for smaller trace width means the cost of the PCB designing will be high. So normally the manufacturing, there is a yield of PCB will also become lesser. So the professional fabrication house, this fabrication house means is nothing but the PCB manufacturing company. So normally the professional fabrication house, that is a professional PCB manufacturing company will manufacture the PCB with a trace with not less than 6 mils. Okay. Next, go to slide number 3. Here we will see what is the consideration given for via size. We have already seen what do you mean by via. Via is nothing but the hole drilled on the PCB for establishing signal connection from top layer of the PCB to bottom layer, or for placing through hole component. We can define this via size as pad size and drill size. Surrounding this via, there will be a coating that is known as pad. If you see in the figure shown in the left side of slide number 3, The bottom figure shows how this via is drilled in the PCB, and there is also some other holes which is already created in the PCB, and those holes has a surrounding circle drawn on it, and that is known as pad. Okay, we have already seen surface mount pad. Surface mount pad means it is used for placing surface mount component on the board and establishing connection between the surface mount component and the pad. Here, this pad is available for via. That is, this via is nothing but the hole, and surrounding that hole, there is a ring like circular ring, and that circular ring is known as pad. Okay, this via size is defined as pad size and drill size. Drill size means that hole size, that inner hole size is drill size. Pad size means the circular ring surrounding the hole, that hole is drill. Okay, so this via size will be represented in terms of pad size and drill size. If you are considering, normally we'll be using pad size of 30 mil. This pad size will be of 30 mil. That is the thickness of this pad surrounding the via will be 30 mil, and the drill size, that is the hole size, will be 18 mil. This 18 mil is nothing but the diameter of the drill, that is diameter of the hole. So it is commonly referred as 18C30. This 18 represent drill size, that is 18 mil drill size, and the 30 after C represents 30 mil pad size. The C in between 18 and 30 represent that the via is circular in shape. Okay, for that we are having the C. Just the slide number 3, right side image shows the different tripped drill. Okay, these are the drills which is used for making holes, that is creating vias in the PCB board. The figure in the left side, which is in the top of the PPT, shows the different types of via that can be available in the PCB board. Okay, this via size should be is normally done in terms of pad size and drill size. The normal via size used in fabrication houses 18C30. 18C30 means that 18 represent 18 mil drill size. Drill is nothing but the hole created by the drill on the PCB board. Pad means the surrounding circular ring around the hole. Okay. Next we will see minimum tray spacing. Go to slide number 4. We have already seen trace is nothing but the line drawn on the PCB, which is a conductive path. Okay. So here we are considering the space between trays. Okay. Previously we have seen the trace with consideration. Here we are going to see trace spacing. That is the space between the trays. Normally, the circuit board fabrication house will has tray spacing the minimum of 4 mils or less than that. The professional fabrication house will also follow the same tray spacing, that is 4 mils or less than that. Next we will see in drawing silk screen in the PCB board. The silk screen is nothing but the letters or symbols The silk screen is nothing but the letter or symbols printed on the PCB board. This is usually in yellow or white color. So in the figure provided in the slide number 5, you can see the silk screen that is available in white or yellow color. Okay, why we are using the silk screen means it is used for identifying the components. If you see in the image provided in the same slide, the slide number 5, see the two holes on the rightmost corner. Below the two hole, we are having 0.1 microfarad, that is written by means of silk screen. That is the two holes are meant for inserting 0.1 microfarad capacitor, and then we are having an IC shape. That IC shape is also drawn in silk screen, and that also we have numbered the IC as IC1, and that numbering is available in the left end of the PCB shown in the slide number 5. Okay, all those PC silk screen are used for various purpose, that is for identifying components or identifying test points. So what do you mean by test point means? These test points are used in manufacturing of PCB board. That is to verify the newly assembled boards. That is after assembling components on the PCB board, we'll be testing it. For testing the PCB board, there will be some points on the PCB, and those points are known as test points. These points, these test points are also used for repairing the PCB board after giving to the user for any use. Okay. After usage also, the PCB board can be tested for its for checking its proper functionality by means of test points. This test will have a small test point mount. Using that test point mount, we'll be testing the PCB board. Okay. Next, this silk screen will also be used for specifying the PCB or PCBA part numbers. We have already seen what is meant by part number. Part number means it describes the properties of the part. For example, if a part number of a PCB is written on the board means it represents the properties of the board. Okay. This PCBA means PCBA assembly. There is the PCB assembly. PCB means it is a normal PCB which is before assembly. PCBA means it is a PCB board after assembling all the components. And then the silk screen is also used for writing some warning symbols. That warning symbols means these parts shouldn't be used for any other purpose. Like that, we'll be marking some warning symbols by means of this silk screen. Then the company logo, that is the manufacturer of the board, has some logo, and that logo will also be placed on the PCB by means of silk screen. I hope you all might have seen it. Then data codes and manufacturer mark. The manufacturer will have some manufacturer mark also. If they don't have logo, they will have some mark. This mark is written on the PCB means the PCB board belongs to a particular manufacturer. Like that we can say. And some data codes. That is useful for understanding the PCB. Okay. So these are the purpose for writing silk screen on the PCB. And this silk screen should have text width of 100 mil size. The height of the text written on the PCB should be of 100 mils. And the stroke width means the thickness of the letters or numbers written on the PCB should be of 10 mils. Okay. This is for a general common PCB board. That is, the text width is 100 mils and the stroke width is 10 mils. Okay. If you are having a PCB with a lot of surface mount components, or the components are closely spaced means the silk screen size will be somewhat reduced. That is, it can be of 80 mil height and the stroke will be 8 mils. Okay, but this 80 mil height and 8 mils width is somewhat smaller for the user to view it on the PCB board. So generally we'll be preferring the text height of silk screen to be 100 mils and the stroke width to be 10 mils. Next, we will see the general guidelines for pads. Then go to slide number 6. Okay, we have already seen surface mount pad, and today's class we have seen about through hole pads. Through hole pad means there is the pad, there is a circular ring surrounding the holes drilled on the PCB board is known as pad. Okay, see here in the slide number 6, there is a circular ring. See the top figure. See, there is two concentric circles. The white inner circle is known as drill. Okay, the white inner circle is drill. It is nothing but the hole in the PCB, and that hole is known as drill. And the surrounding ring-shaped circle, there is a ring, is known as pad. Okay, so normally this pad will be made in large size. Okay, normally we preferring the pad should be of large size so that the manufacturing and the soldering will be increasing in efficiency. So we will be creating the pads in large size and we'll be preferring the size between the pad and hole radius should be 20 mil. Okay, the size between the pad and the drill is nothing but the size, that is the area provided as a shaded ash color shaded portion in the image provided in the slide number 6. You see the image in the slide number 6. The ash color shaded portion is the annular ring. Okay, and that is the annular ring. The ash color shaded portion, the circle, the concentric circle in slide number 6 is the annular ring. The width of that annular ring should be 20 mil. Okay, this annular ring is the ring between the drill and the pad. Okay, drill is nothing but the hole which is drilled on the PCB. Pad is nothing but the surrounding concentric circle. Okay, and the annular ring size should be 20 mil. The below image shows the via connector. See, in slide number 6, the image provided in the bottom, there we are having the via connects. That is in the image provided in the bottom shows the yellow color annular ring. In between there is a white color hole, and that is used for via connect. That is, in that only we'll be having via connection. Okay, that yellow color ring is nothing but the annular ring. Okay, and the professional PCB manufacturers will preferring 3 mil annular ring. Okay, for professional designing we'll be using 3 mil annular ring. And next we'll see, then go to slide number 7. So now we are seeing the design guidelines for PCB designing, and this design guidelines is classified into two types. There is a design guidelines meant for high density processing PCB and standard processing PCB. Okay, high density processing PCB means if the PCB is overpopulated, that is highly dense, means it is high density processing. Standard processing means the PCBs are somewhat simple. That is, it may have more number of components, but the spacing between those components is somewhat larger, means we'll be saying it as standard processing PCB. Okay, So what is the difference means? There is a difference in cost of manufacturing of the PCB board. If the board is designed with the rules as in standard processing means the cost will be low as compared to the cost in high density processing. Okay. The PCB manufactured in the rules as specified by standard processing will have low cost compared to that of high density processing PCB. Okay. For this, go to next slide, slide number 8. For this, we have taken an example PCB fabrication house. Here we have taken Next Logic. It is a PCB fabrication house. That is nothing but the PCB manufacturing company, Next Logic. Go to slide number 9. The slide number 9 provides the design guidelines for standard processing PCB used by Nextlogic Technologies. Nextlogic Technologies is a PCB manufacturing company. Okay, they have framed some design guidelines for standard processing. We see it one by one. First, standard line and space. Okay, there is a standard space between the line should be of 6 mils in case of standard processing, and then minimum finished via size, that is the via, that is a hole drilled in 0.62 inches. The double quotes represent inches. Okay, there's a minimum finished via in 0.62 inches material is 8 mils. That is the hole drilled in 0.62 inch material. The material means the PCB board of 0.62 inch. In that PCB, if you are drilling the hole, the size of the hole, that is the minimum size of the hole should be 8 mil in case of standard processing. Next, minimum unplated hole. Here unplated hole means, so the hole, that is a via, after drill it will be normally plated. That is why we have seen in the second case finished via. Finished via means it is plated via. The third case we are seeing minimum unplated hole. That is the hole which is not plated should also have the same size as 8 mil. The hole is plated or not plated, it should have the hole size as 8 mil. And then minimum finished board thickness. There is a board after coating and after all processing, the thickness of the board, the minimum thickness should be 15 mil. And then the overall board thickness, tolerance. We'll be having some tolerance in everything. I hope you all remember the tolerance available in resistance. That is the last string will specify the resistance tolerance. That is during manufacturing of the components, there may be slight variation in the physical properties of the component. To have that component within the user specification, we will be specifying some tolerance value. Likewise, in PCB board also, we are mentioning that tolerance. That is here is given the overall board thickness tolerance. The thickness of the board can have tolerance up to plus or minus 7 mil. That is the thickness can be greater than 7 mil or lower than 7 mil as specified by the standard size. The standard size is nothing but 15 mil thickness, which is we have seen in the previous. Okay, next, the standard plated through hole size tolerance. We have already seen the through hole size is 8 mil. The tolerance of that through hole size, that is the via size, is plus or minus 3 mil. And then we'll see standard routing tolerance. That is, we will draw routing lines on the PCB, that is connecting different parts on the PCB, and that tolerance can be plus or minus 10 mil. And then we are having scoring location tolerance. Before seeing scoring location tolerance, we will see What do you mean by scoring? For example, we will see V scoring. V scoring means is a process of cutting the V-shaped groove on the top and bottom board of the PCB. That is, the PCB board will be cut in the shape of V shape. In the top layer of the PCB will also be cut in the V shape, and the bottom board in the same position will also be cut in the V shape, so that the in between portion on the top B and the bottom B represent that scoring location. Okay, the scoring location can have tolerance of up to plus or minus 10 mil. That is, will be having the scoring in a location as specified in the design. The scoring location can be moved to some mils, that is within the ranges plus or minus 10 mil location. Okay, that is the scoring location tolerance is plus or minus 10. Scoring is nothing but cutting the top layer and bottom layer of the PCB in shape of V, and the in between layer of the V shape is known as scoring. Okay, next we'll see scoring depth. That is, depth means we are cutting the top layer as well as bottom layer of the PCB in shape of V, and the portion in between those two V shape is known as scoring depth. The scoring depth in case of 0.2 0.62 inch PCBs will be 20 mils, and here itself they have provided a tolerance that is plus or minus 5 mil. Then we will see standard warpage tolerance. First we will see what do you mean by warpage. Warpage is a term which is used to describe the altered PCB shape. If you are changing the PCB shape, initially we might have designed the PCB in one shape, and due to some problem or due to some necessity, we changed it. Okay, due to some problem or due to some necessity. The shape of the PCB can be changed. That changed PCB shape is known as bar shape. The tolerance of changing the shape, there is a tolerance of that warpage in changing the PCB shape is 10 mils per inch. We are changing the shape so that some portion of the PCB size will be modified. For every inch, the tolerance is 10 mils. Okay. Next we'll see solder mask laydown. Solder mask laydown means that is a will be pouring the solder mask. That minimum solder mask pouring thickness should be of 3 mil. Then solder mask clearance. The solder mask may be cleared to have some surface mount pad or through hole pad. Okay, that is if you want to create a via in the solder mask surface means we'll be clearing it, or if you want to place any surface mount pad in the solder mask layer means we'll be clearing it. For that reason, the solder mask can be cleared to up to a depth of 1.5 mil thickness. Okay, these are all the guidelines provided in the slide number 9 is for standard processing. Next, go to slide number 10. The slide number 10 provides the same specification of the PCB in terms of high density processing PCB. I have mentioned the term definition. You can simply refer the numbers which differ from standard processing and high density processing. Here, for your understanding, I have given the definition, that is I have stated what are those specifications are. So only the number in high density PCB varies. In high density PCB, these number varies because the PCB is highly populated. Okay, so in some cases the values will be reduced. Okay, so these are the design guidelines used by Nextlogic Technologies is a company that is for standard processing and high density processing PCB boards. Next, we will compare this Nextlogic Technologies PCB guidelines with another one company. Let's go to slide number 11. Next, we will compare this design guidelines with Capital Electronics PCB designing company. Capital Electronics is also a PCB fabrication house. So go to slide number 12. In slide number 12, we are having the standard processing design guidelines. So here in slide number 12, from that the design guidelines are provided for Capital Electronics, but here in the slide this mention as Nextlogic Technologies. So kindly note it down, and these design guidelines are for Capital Electronics. So kindly change it. The design guidelines are provided in slide number 12, 13, 14, and these three slides is meant for Capital Electronics Technologies. So kindly change it. Now we see the design guidelines provided by Capital Electronics for standard processing. First we will see the minimum line width and spacing. The minimum line width means the line drawn on the PCB, the width of that line and the spacing between these lines should be of 10 mils minimum, and it can be more than that also. And for single-sided board, the size between the pad and the hole should be of 38 mils. Okay, the size between the pad and the hole should be 38 mils. In case of double-sided PCB, the size between the pad and the hole should be of 22 mils. And then the smallest plated through hole. Okay, there is a plated through hole. Minimum size should be 24 mils. The non-plated hole should be 28 mils. That is the smallest size. That is the minimum size. And next you will see solder mask clearance around pad. That is, we have seen already. We will be having a via. That is, we will be having a hole in the PCB. Around that hole, we are having some pad. That is through hole pad. That through hole pad will be subjected to solder mask clearance. That is, after drilling hole in the PCB board, we will be removing the solder mask applied on the board surrounding the hole drilled. Okay, that solder mask clearance can have screening. The screening means the sill screen. I hope you all remember what is sill screen. The sill screen can be of size 20 mils. Okay, and this solder mask after clearance can have some photo image. This photo image means using image transfer stage in PCB manufacturing. There is a passing ultraviolet radiation on the PCB on the film. That's on the photographic film. For having photo image, we can have that thickness as +8 mils. Okay, the solder mask clearance around the pad just done for having photo image. We can clear the solder mask up to 8 mil thickness for photo image. If you want to clear the solder mask around the pad for screening purpose, for having sill screen means we'll be clearing the solder mask up to 20 mil thickness. I hope you can understand the terms specified in the design guidelines. Next we will see. Next go to slide number 13. Here we will see the design guideline specification for high density processing PCB. That is, it is for the only double-sided board. Okay. The first term, that is the minimum spacing between the line and as well as the line width should be of 6 mil. It is a high density processing. So the design specification provided for standard processing will be higher than that of high density processing. So this value is smaller compared to the standard processing. Next we will see smallest plated through hole size. There is a through hole drilled on the PCB. The hole on the PCB can have the size minimum of 13 mil. Then pad to hole sizing. There is a size between the pad and the hole. There is a size between the hole drilled on the PCB and the pad, that is a circular concentric circle surrounding the drill hole, can be of 15 mil. Then we can have solder mask clearance around the pad, and those pads are meant for screening. That is, for silk screen means the solder mask will be removed up to thickness of 12 mils. And then if we want to remove the solder mask layer around the pad, which is to be used for image transfer, means we'll be removing the solder mask up to thickness of 5 mils. And next, go to slide number 14. In slide number 14, we are having design guidelines used by Capital Electronics Technologies for multi-layer processing. Till now we have seen single-sided board and double-sided board. Here we are considering multi-layer PCB board processing. It can be of either standard processing or high-density processing. For both, the same specification is used. First we will see pad to hole sizing. There is a size between the pad and the hole drilled on the PCB. On the outer layer is 22 mil or 15 mil, and the size between the pad and the hole in the inner layer can be of 28 mil or 16 mil, and in the inner layer the plate clearance can have the thickness of up to 30 mil or 18 mil, and the hole drilled on the PCB, there is a plated hole. There is a hole which is subjected to plating, can be of 22 mil or 12 mil. Then we can see the line width. The line width on the outer layer can be of 10 or 6 mil, and the inner layer can be of 10 or 8 mil, and in the line spacing in the outer layer can be of 10 or 6 mil. The line spacing in the inner layer will be of 10 or 8 mil. And then the solder mask clearance around the pad. There is around the pad we can clear the solder mask for having silk screen, means the thickness can be of, there's a thickness of clearing the solder mask around the pad for silk screen, means it can be of 22 or 12 mil. If you want to clear the solder mask around the pad for having photo image, can be of 10 mil or 5 mil. Okay. So these are the design guidelines provided by Capital Electronics. Kindly note, in the slide number 12, 13, 14, the heading is mentioned as Nexlogic Technologies. It is not Nexlogic Technologies. It is for Capital Electronics Technologies. So kindly change it. So till now we have seen the design guidelines specification for two companies. Till now we have seen the design guideline specification for two companies, that is for Nexlogic Technologies and Capital Electronics Technologies. For that we have seen the standard processing specification as well as high density processing specification. In Capital Electronics Technologies we are having separate design guidelines for single board PCB, double-sided board PCB, as well as for multi-layer board PCB. We have seen all these. Next, go to slide number 15. The slide number 15 shows the IPC D320A format. This IPC D328 format is nothing but an association which produces PCB related products. Okay. Under this association, there are 4,000 plus member companies. That is, the PCB manufacturing company will be a member in this association. Similar to the ISO standard, we are having this IPC standard for designing the PCB board. This IPC is named as, formerly it is called as Institute of Printed Circuit. This IPC stands for Institute of Printed Circuits. This is a name given in earlier days. Now this association is named as Association Connecting Electronics Industries, but the same format IPC is given. Okay. So as per this IPC format, the figure in the slide number 15 shows different IPC format for different end products. If you look at the figure, means you can see SMT reliability, that is surface mount reliable. To have surface mount reliable, what are the IPC standard we have to follow? Then for repairing purpose, what are the IPC standard we have to follow? And for some end products used in different cases, what are the IPC standard we have to follow? All those details are given in the figure provided in the IPC standard. You can, if you need, you can go through it. Okay, now we will see the product specification as per the IPC standard. As per the IPC standard, the hole size for the board having diameter, the hole having diameter of 0.72 inches. 0.072 inches can have thickness of plus or minus 3 mil in case of standard processing PCB board. In case of high density, we can have the tolerance of plus or minus 2 mil. This plus or minus is nothing but the hole size tolerance. Okay. We have already mentioned the diameter of the hole size. It is 0.072 diameter. The tolerance for standard processing as well as for high density processing provided. And these tolerance are for holes under the diameter 0.072 inches. If you are having the hole size over the diameter 0.072 thickness, we will be having the tolerance in case of standard processing as plus or minus 5 mil, and in case of high density processing as plus or minus 4 mil. And then the annular ring, we have already seen what is meant by annular ring. Annular ring is the ring shape between the pad and the drill. That is nothing but annular ring. Okay. The annular ring size in case of standard processing is 3 mil. In case of high density processing is 1 mil. For circuitry registration, that is for drawing circuit on the board, there is some tolerance for drawing the circuit. There is a thickness of the circuit which you are drawing can be of plus or minus 5 mil in standard processing. In high density processing, the thickness can be of plus or minus 3.5 mil. And this circuitry registration is for top layer. Okay. So going for the inner layer, there is a registration of inner layer per linear edge. For every inch, the tolerance can be of same plus or minus 5 mils for standard, and for high density it is plus or minus 3.5 mils. The trace width reduction, we can reduce the trace width as possible as 15% in case of standard processing. For high density processing, the trace width can be reduced to In case of high density processing, the trace width can be reduced to up to 10% of the specified size as per the guidelines. This percentage is related to the specified size given in the design guideline. So this is some product specification provided by this IPC format. Next you will see polyline in PCB. So go to slide number 16. So the figure available in the slide number 16 shows the polyline. This polyline is nothing but the line drawn on the PCB. You will see what is this line and what is this line used for one by one. Okay. Here we are having a polyline dialog box. This polyline dialog box is used in some PCB designing software. So this dialog box is from Eagle PCB designing software tool, and the video for this polyline designing in PCB is given in the WhatsApp group. You can refer to it, kindly refer to it. How we can draw this polyline in Eagle's PCB designing software. They have given it in the video.
Amma, Tannima.
Okay. So kindly refer the video available in the WhatsApp group. So in that video, we can see this dialog box. This dialog box, PC means there are two tabs. The dialog box, it is graphical or vertices. Okay, we are having these two tabs, and we will see what purpose this dialog box is used for in detail. Okay, this polyline dialog box is used for providing controls to specify the properties of the polyline. Okay, so how this polyline should be, how the thickness of this polyline, and in what color this polyline should be shown in the PCB design software, and it should be either a dotted line, or it should be a dashed line, or it should be a solid line, and all those can be given in the PCB design software using this polyline dialog box. This polyline is nothing but a non-electrical polyline. This polyline doesn't have any electrical property. It is a non-electrical line. It is simply a line drawn on the PCB, and this line is used for adding some information in the software. That is for drawing some graphical symbols we'll be using, or for having the sheet borders. Okay, in a software tool we have already seen we'll be having PCB outline, and the PCB outline is available in some sheet. To have a border to that sheet, we can specify it by means of PCB polyline. Okay, that is to differentiate that PCB outline. We'll be using this polyline, or for having some title blocks. That is, if you want to specify the title for the PCB, and this title will be used in case if you are drawing several layers in the software tool. So each layer is meant for what purpose, and the blocks in each layer is meant for what purpose. All those information can be provided in the PCB by means of the title block, and this title block is drawn by means of polyline. Okay, and then for annotating the schematic, that is for adding some information in schematic diagram. You all know what a schematic diagram. In providing some information in the schematic diagram about the components or about the whole schematic diagram, we'll be using this polyline to specify some additional information. So this polyline is used for providing textual information or graphical information in the PCB board. Okay, then go to slide number 17. So we will see the properties of this polyline one by one. There are several options or controls in polylines. First, we'll see the line width. And these line width, line style, color, start line shape, all are provided in the dialog box polyline provided in the slide number 16. See the dialog box. A few seconds. Everyone go through the dialog box provided in the slide number 16. See in the dialog box, there we are having line width, line style. Line width means the width of the line. The width of the line can be specified in this dialog box. We can also have the line style. Line style means either this polyline is a solid line. Solid line means it is a dark shaded line, or it is a dotted line, or it's a dashed line. Dotted line means that line includes dots. Dashed line means that line includes broken part of line. Okay, and you can also specify some color to this polyline, and then we can indicate the you're going to draw the polyline. That line will have a starting point as well as a ending point. The starting point of the line can be indicated by means of some shape. That shape is known as start line shape. Okay, then end line shape means the ending of the polyline drawn can also be represented in the by means of some shape, that is end line shape. Okay, the start and end portion of the polyline can be represented by means of some shape. That is, for example, some circular shape can be provided to represent the start of the line. Small circle can be available, or to represent the end of the line, small triangle can be available. Likewise, we can have the starting and the ending point of the polyline. And this polyline will have a specific size. Okay, and that size can be termed in terms of smallest or largest, or smallest to largest. That is average size, lowest size, and highest size. Likewise, we can specify the range of the size. And one more option is available. That is, we can lock this polyline. Okay, there is an option for locking this polyline. That is locked option. If we enable this locked option, means you can protect this polyline from being edited graphically. Okay, once we have drawn this polyline, we no need to edit this polyline anymore. By mistakenly, while drawing some roots on the PCB, if you are going to edit this polyline, means to avoid it, you can lock this polyline. Okay, if you are locking this polyline, means this polyline can't be edited. That is, it is protected from any graphical changes. For that only, we'll be enabling locked option in the polyline. Next, go to slide number 19. So in slide number 19, we are having the same dialog box, but in vertices tab. Okay, previously we have seen all those options in graphical tab. Here we will see the options available in vertices tab. Okay, so here, so vertices means it's nothing but the vertices. If you say the vertices of a triangle, means they are having 3 vertices. The square means it is having 4 vertices. There's a corners in a particular shape that is known as vertices. Similarly, we are having vertices in polyline also. Okay, so we can have number of vertices in polyline. So you can add the vertices by pressing the add button. If you want to remove any vertices, you can select that vertex and use remove button provided in the dialog box shown in the figure in slide number 19. And you can also specify the x and y axis of the vertices. There is a x and y coordinate. So if you're having a PCB drawing sheet, means so in horizontal coordinate where the vertices should be present, we can specify the horizontal coordinate. Similar to a graph, similar to linear graph you're drawing, you'll be saying it as 0, 1. Like that you'll be marking. Okay, the 0 represent x coordinate and that 1 represent y coordinate. Likewise, you can also have this x and y coordinates for vertices. Okay. So these are the properties of polylines. Okay, today we will conclude what we have seen till now. In today's class, we have dealt the design guidelines used for PCB designing. First, we have seen the design consideration for trace width. The design consideration for trace width should be 4 mils or less than that, but a professional fabrication house will have trace width of 6 mils. Then the bias size. The bias size is represented in terms of pad size and drill size, and this size should be of standard 18C30 dia. Then we have seen minimum trace spacing. The minimum trace spacing can be of 4 mils or less, and this is in case of general circuit board fabrication or professional fabrication house. And then we have seen sill screen. The sill screen height should be, the height of the text provided in sill screen should be of 100 mils, and the stroke width is of 10 mils. And next, we have seen what do you mean by annular ring. The annular ring should be of 20 mil, but in professional circuit board manufacturers, the annular ring will be of 3 mil. Then we have seen some design guidelines. There are two types of design guidelines. One is high density design guideline and another one is standard processing design guideline. These two types vary by means of cost. The cost is less for standard processing compared to that of high density processing. Next, we have considered two example PCB fabrication house. First, we have taken Nextlogic Technologies. For Nextlogic Technologies, we have provided the design guidelines for standard processing as well as for high density processing. And then we saw the design guidelines for Capital Electronics. For that also, we have seen the standard processing guidelines both for single sided PCB, double sided PCB, and for multi-layer PCB, we have seen common for standard processing and high density processing. And then we have seen the IPC standard. This IPC standard is nothing but a standard used for representing the common format for design used in the PCB. Then we have seen how this polyline in PCB is drawn. This polyline is in PCB is used for specifying some graphical symbols or for drawing some sheet borders or for drawing title blocks or for including some information about the schematic diagram and how those physical properties of this polylines such as line width, line style, color, start line shape, end line shape, line shape size, and how it can be logged. That is for protection. We have seen it. And then we have seen how we can add vertices to the polyline and how we can remove it and how we can mention the x and y coordinate of the polyline. And all those we have seen in today's class. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.